Oh, you're robotic. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Complete bullshit. I'm not going to be on here the entire time. I'm probably going to be on here for like another minutes, and I'm going to have to cut out.
Yeah, it just like the whole thing that you had just said right there sounded like I was talking to Stephen Hawking. It was like, I was like, what? I don't know what you're saying, but it must be good.
You say it, bitch. Stephen Hawking, that's what the producer's online, right? One of the MGTOW producer.
What? What? You don't know who Stephen Hawking is? Oh, it's frozen.
Yay, sorry, I'm late.
What's up?
Nothing. Just chilling.
Cool.
Sorry I couldn't make it last week. I found out a friend died that night.
Oh shit, dude! I'm sorry.
Nah, it happens, but it happened suddenly in his case because he's only like 40 and he died, just dropped dead of a heart attack.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that bites, but you know, whatevs.
Yeah, that
Good morning.
Oh, there's Magnus. Mr.
Hey, Magnus.
That's why I said good morning, ladies, and whoever else is here.
Hey.
It's ladies all right now. We're all trans. Except you.
Except for me.
Except you. You got a 10 speed, so I guess you're trans too.
Oh, except for Ego. He's
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. Ego.
Buongiorno. How's everyone today?
Good.
How you doing?
Very well, thanks. You guys are going to have to tell me how to put up my logo again. So I go to chat, do I go to...
I'll put my screen up and I'll show you so that you can do it.
Thank you.
Full screen.
That was an awesome talk, by the way, last week. You guys are awesome.
You can see my screen?
Oh, was I in the talk last week? Yeah, I was.
Yeah, you were.
I don't know. I don't remember if I was here or not.
Yeah, you were. You were.
Cool.
Wait, was I here then? Holy shit. Wait, no, of course I wasn't.
Cool. Ah, shit. Come on now. That's not working.
To infinity and beyond.
That's not working. I did the present to everybody. That didn't work.
I was about to say, hey, I can see my house from here.
Exactly.
Don't present to everybody. That's how they arrest you.
I was just trying to take us all to Mars there. Okay. Here we go.
Wish.
You asked balls.
So all you have to do is go to this little box.
Yeah.
That little toolbox that's there. Click on that.
Yeah.
And it'll bring up the screen right here, and then right here where it says Custom Overlay, you click that red button, find whatever picture you want, and then turn it on.
All right. Let me just do that.
Simple as that. And you can put any picture you want on there. It doesn't matter what picture it is. And then once you've done that, you just turn it on, and you leave your camera on, and it'll automatically overlay it so that you won't have your actual camera. It's actually and then when you speak, you don't get like the little circle. It actually takes up the whole screen. So you put a whole picture on the whole screen.
Oh.
So that's all you have to do.
Just learn something new every day, man. Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's real simple. That's why when I speak, you'll always see like my whole thing. It goes across the whole panel. I don't just have like a little circle.
Binary, I'm going to go ahead and tell you like this. My philosophy is if you don't learn at least one thing new a day, you've had a shitty day.
Yeah. I learned I fucking hate developing for mobile already.
Really?
Shit. Hating it.
Okay, well, this is the first topic we're going to talk about right now. Is what I was wanting to talk about was the Flint, Michigan water crisis.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
What do you guys think about that? I just did a video, and I've been watching the internet, and I've been watching like TYT and all the CNN articles, and everybody's talking about it, and it's a big deal. And I've never yet heard one person mention the simple thing that I brought up. I'm talking on my channel about stupid smart people. And I never have heard anybody bring up the very simple solution: put the water lines and the water back to where it was. It obviously didn't cost 2.5 million because that's what they were going to try saving. So it obviously might have costed a few hundred million, a few $100,000.
Well, no,
So
the only
why don't
problem
they change it back to the original position, and then the problem is solved?
Well,
Shi-Nu, my problem with that is it's Michigan, so
that's just your problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a pretty big problem.
I'm not a fan of it.
Well, like me and Frozen were just talking about the people that live in Michigan, or most of them, like 64, 65% don't even have work. There's almost no jobs there, and it's all low-income people. So they're really kind of dregs of society, and nobody really cares about them. So it's really easy to take those people and just shit on them. And like, so what? They don't have clean drinking water. Who cares? They don't mean anything. They're all just living off society. They're all on welfare. They're all, just people that don't have educations. There's no work over there. So who gives a fuck about them?
Well,
My
yeah,
thing
but
is-
the problem is it's almost reminiscent of over the last few months running in and out of California. I keep seeing signs up there talking about they're having a water crisis. So it's like, well, who's in charge of this shit and allowing it to get so bad that they don't have water?
The government. And that's the problem. That's the problem. The government. The city governments are part of it, and all they care about is money. The point that they would sell out the entire citizenry of the Flint, Michigan, and Chicago, and all these other places, the fact that they would sell them all out for $2.5 million and poison children and women and just everybody in the entire fucking city for $2.5 million says a lot.
It's not even that much money in retrospect.
Not to the government. When you're talking about
Yeah.
Flint, Michigan, nobody has work, and the government in that state still has like $1 billion.
Shi-Nu, I got a question for you. Have you not put this live yet? Because the live logo's not up.
It says it's live here.
Yeah, it's live.
Huh.
It's been live since 11. We've been live for 8 minutes.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Well, no, I just wanted to make sure because it wasn't showing up on mine, and I was like, wait a minute. Did Shi-Nu forget to take us live?
I've noticed there's a few issues with Hangouts since last night.
And we're broadcasting. We should be live on YouTube
There's
as well.
There's a chat to ship post. I'm going there.
Yeah.
Post a chat. It's my
Well,
it's my
now see, here's the thing though. Much like with Google Hangouts and me having to ask that question, the government and all these big companies seem to like to fuck with shit that worked perfectly fine
Yeah.
until they got a hold of it, and then it don't work worth a shit no more.
Yeah,
Well,
Google and was it the G Plus fucking bullshit that no one liked, and now they're fucking pulling it out. It's like, make up your goddamn mind, people.
Well, getting back to the thing of this place in Michigan, when I was studying, well, I still do from time to time, when I was studying the whole commercial law, privatization, and everything like that, what's basically, from what I've seen, is that the government, because they're poor, all the states in America, they're bankrupt. London bankrupt. I mean, for crying out loud, a couple of years ago, they sold Canary Wharf for 3-point-something billion, just a fraction of it. And I was talking to my friends, and I was saying to them, don't you realize that for them to sell something like Canary Wharf, the hub of financial money in London, for a pittance, for crying out loud, Walmart is worth more than 3-point-something billion. So getting back to what you guys were saying is that the governments have sold out to foreign corporations such as China, and we know where that's going now. And,
Yep.
and I've telling a lot of my buddies, I was telling them, say goodbye to your Chinese next door neighbors. They are going back home. They're going back to their ghost cities, which they're not going to fill up. It's all a massive Ponzi scheme. And that's why you will have the water filtration completely debased, because all of these utility companies have been sold to private corporations, which are foreign, and they're for profit. A lot of these companies, they can't even pay their employees. They can't pay. They're having one employee to do 4 people's jobs to put on their financial paper to say, oh, they're in profit. It's complete and utter.
Well, like when you look at the situation that's going on over in Oregon with those guys that have taken over a government property and all this stuff, people don't ever, like I'm always talking about with stupid smart people, nobody ever looks at the very simple thing that you need to look at when you're looking at a situation like that. The government, under the Constitution, cannot legally own property. But there's all these government lands in the United States where the people are paying tax money, and the government is keeping and holding lands from the people. That's not even allowed under the Constitution.
Well,
so these people are pissed off, and they're over there trying to say, you're not able to tell me what I can and can't do with my land, because I'm a person who lives in Oregon. I pay taxes on that. That's public land. Government doesn't have the right to own land. They can't under the Constitution.
Shi-Nu, keep in mind that people who bring this up and recognize it, they're the ones that everybody's like, oh, what you need to put on your tinfoil hat or something? It's like,
that's law. That's in the Constitution.
Well,
you need to put on your tinfoil hat because you blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, dude, no, it's in the Constitution.
Look, Shi-Nu, right, what I know, because the only books I was studying were treatises from back in the 1500s, 1600s, and when you're talking about law and then you're talking about legislation, they're completely 2 different things. So when we go back to the whole common law thing, as I've told a lot of people, a friend of mine actually died at 64. On his deathbed, he was trying to argue me this fact, and it's come out now. But the fact of the matter is, when you're having legislation and persons paying corporation tax, which is to the sort of quasi-government, a shadow government, they are now paying a tax which is not supposed to be coming from them, but they're actually paying a tax which is recognition of the fact that you're dealing with a district, a territory that is being taken over by a foreign entity. When you have people from the south going to the north and accommodating them, and you're having post pillars and all of these sort of stuff, it goes back to the days of conquering foreign land. But when you have individuals that are from the neighboring city coming over and they look like you or me, but when they're wearing the flag of a foreign company, it might be Shell, it might be Exxon, it might be Walmart, then you're seeing the fact that it's no longer a lawful matter, because under the law another man can't come and take another man's property, but under legislation you can do it, because that's what legislation is all about. It goes back to 1066 with like William the Conqueror and like, you know, this Jewish law whatever that they brought over, which basically states that because law is such a animalistic thing, if you do something to me, I can then kill you or take a pound of flesh. It's too hard. So they brought in something like commerce or equity, which is they believe there was a better function where you don't have to die. What we're going to do is we're going to take the lands and your estates from you via way of a secret trust. So when you're saying these people in Oregon, the majority of them don't understand these things because they haven't studied. It takes a long time to study this stuff. Then you go into the court system, then you realize these people are morons. They don't even know it. They have no idea. They have no ideas what law is. They have no ideas what legislation is. They don't understand the United Nations and how that plays into the whole thing. They completely and utterly beguiled. So when these people are taking over this government base, and you're right, no government, because there's a corporation, can have land in perpetuity, but then they name it something else. They give it a legal name. Then now we can play. And because the majority of people have no idea, they have the attention span the size of a dung beetle, they can't be bothered to read up anything. They don't even understand it. Then you go into the courts, which I've been so many times, and you're seeing a QC not even knowing the premise or the basis of the books that they're reading from, because it was all a scam.
Yep. Yeah.
Actually, ego, I think you're giving people too much credit because the way I always put it, they've got an attention span shorter than a gnat's pecker.
Well, thank you very much. I thought that was a big enough insult. You're saying. Fair enough.
You know, we were talking earlier about how they've been changing and screwing with shit. I've been removed from the call twice, and I know.
Yeah, I
Shi-Nu's
thought you did that purposely.
No. I've just been kicked out of the call
Yeah,
twice.
I noticed
It's
you
like,
keep
well,
going out and coming back in and going out and coming back in. I thought that was you. I thought
No,
you were having some kind of problems.
It's popping up and saying you have been removed from the call.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I don't have anybody else that's administrating, so I'm the only one that can do that.
Yeah, I know, but it's like I said, it's like they keep screwing with this stuff, and you know, so whether you're doing anything or not, because I'm pretty sure if you removed me from the call, I couldn't just come right back in like I have.
No. Yeah. Well, that's something else I was wanting to talk about. I don't know if any of you guys know what's going on. It's been kind of in the back recesses for the last few months, but pretty much a lot of people should know the CEO of YouTube is a woman, and she's got family and all this stuff, and obviously she's a feminist SJW. And what we got going on now is she's going around and she's having her cronies look at anybody's videos that they've deemed unfit, like that if you cuss in it, or if you talk about rape, or if you talk about anything, they're taking away your monetization, and they've done it to Turd Flinging Monkey, and a lot of people are what it's going to do to YouTube is it's going to make all of us that do content that actually has something to say and that we're trying to get a point across, and maybe we're like, fuck you, and blah, you know, all this kind of stuff, and we're trying to actually say something real. They're actually taking away your monetization capabilities, and they're actually making it hard for you to make money. So people are going to stop making those videos, or at least not putting as much
I will
time.
talk about rape for free. Fuck it.
I have to say this out loud, and if she's listening, she's welcome to get her ass in a clinch over it. But I don't monetize my videos, so ha ha on you, YouTube CEO, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talk about rape for fun, dude. Come on.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There's all these people that actually make their living off of it, like Sargon of Akkad. You know, he doesn't work. He makes his money off of doing YouTube videos. And what they're doing is they're going around and, like, you know, if you talk about anything in your video that they deem to be inappropriate, they take away your monetization. So you might have a video that has 2 million you know, people have watched it, and you've made, you know, hundreds of dollars off of that video, probably thousands, and they take away your monetization capabilities off of that video. So they're basically trying to make it to where they're not telling you can't make that video, they're just telling you they're not going to allow you to make money off that video.
Where do these companies get off saying who can say what in their videos? If they keep doing this, YouTube's going to be in just as dire straits, or more so, than Twitter is right now.
Yeah. Well, just in the last, like, I think, what is it, just the last 3 or 4 years, actually, YouTube has fucked up the monetizations to where it's actually dropped the amount of money that people can make from monetizations 50%. You know? So we're making like 50% less cash off of our monetization than we used to make. You know?
Well, I mean, that's no surprise, because as I've always told a lot of people, like, what part of fascism aren't we living in the Western world? Number one. Number two, it's like,
again.
Yeah, it happened to you again. And this is what's going on. Like YouTube and the internet, it's all basically, the way I look at the majority of these things, they're just a Ponzi scheme. You get in at the first tier, everything's okay, and as time goes by, it's the same thing with people in, like, in the NHS over here in the UK, or any sort of work all around the world when they have unions, what happens is the first people to get on, they get a good deal. Then a new contract comes. Then they talk about fair and sustainable. Then they talk about quantitative easing. It's the same thing with YouTube to a certain deal. Well, what's just basically going to happen is going to drive more and more people like us to sort of like open source stuff, and it will just carry on the frolicking over there. It wouldn't, because what will then have to happen is, which I'm happy for, is it will force more and more people that are sitting behind their laptops to actually convene in a real place and actually do something of worth that is going to generate value for everyone and generate some sort of monetary thing, which I've been proponing, which I'm getting on the back to do right now. And you know, YouTube can do whatever the hell they want when people stop showing up, but it's going to take a long time because you know, people are late adopters to new things. So when it takes a long time to catch the trend, then most people get on it. So if what you're saying is true, and I don't doubt that it's not, what's going to happen is that people like us will now start going to sort of open source stuff and leave the remnants of the people on YouTube that just want to talk. But at some point,
there was that other site that they're even doing now, 4chan. I'm wondering if because we have to have private servers that aren't under government control, that they can't go in, or that big corporations can't go in and buy out and say like, hey, we're going to do this and we're going to do that with your, you know, and you can't say this and you can't say that. So I'm wondering if there's some people that could all get together. I mean, we got Anonymous and all this stuff. I'm wondering if we can't get a bunch of people together to make another platform that's completely free, the way YouTube used to be when it first started, because that's how it got big. And as it's gotten bigger and bigger, they've actually regulated it more and more. To where
can I interject? Because I know a little bit about the subject. The problem is we can make a decentralized platform that's free speech when it comes to text and sharing images. But if you want something to share videos, that's going to be extremely expensive. Extremely expensive. You got to understand that YouTube was losing. It probably still is losing money. YouTube loses money, and it's part of Google's strategy. It's probably part of Google's strategy online strategy to do other things. It's a loss leader, probably for other reasons. So to come up with our own video platform that's free, I think it would be impossible, to be honest. We could do something like we could probably replace Twitter, for example, or probably replace Facebook if we don't share videos. But video sharing would be very difficult.
Yeah, we need to do something to try to get away from the SJW crowd and stuff.
Jump to Daily Motion. They got more. They're less controlled. It's like the number 2 sharing site. No one watches it hardly. It's like YouTube's like the number 2 site in the world, and number 3. Daily Motion is like the number 100 site in the world. So they're incomparable in power. But I'd advise all MGTOW, you making videos that you consider serious and important, back them up to Daily Motion. You can be bothered, because you can be taken down at any time.
Yeah.
Yep. Not a bad plan.
Yep. Never even heard of Daily Motion.
Well, look it up. I've created an account on there. I put one video up. I haven't really done great videos though, so I haven't bothered backing them up. But I put one video up just to test it out. So if you've done any deep,
I've got almost 400 videos on my main channel alone, and total on all of my channels, I think I've got like over 600 videos. So I could like load a shit ton of content like real quick.
I mean, Daily Motion's been around for years, way before. I mean, I don't know, way before you, I believe so. Daily Motion's been around for quite a number of years, but yet again, YouTube, I mean, this is why Google's buying everything up, and I suspect, which Google and all of these people, all they're doing is just like data mining for people's information on the stock exchange, like every court system.
Alex, do something about that wind noise, dude.
Yeah.
mute the mic. Oh, sorry. Give me a second. I'll mute it.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep him silent.
Yeah. Sounds like somebody's having a pillow fight with him over there.
forgot that I was muted. I was trying to tell him, Alex, you're really hard to hear because of that wind, dude.
Yeah. Sounded like his girlfriend was beating him up with a pillow. Jeez.
Oh. Ego's on mute too.
Well,
What the heck, bro? You're in the middle of saying the thing.
You were in the middle of saying the thing.
Well, now, what gets me is that these businesses like YouTube and Google are going to allow their own business to be shut down or fucked up because they capitulate to this minority of social justice weasels. And then the rest of us are just going to be like, you know what, fuck it, we don't want to deal with it, we'll go somewhere else.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think they really care. You know, like that bitch that's the CEO of YouTube. She doesn't really care. She's already got her money, and they've actually paid her. They pay him a certain amount of money to be the CEO. So she's already got her money, and if the whole ship goes down, she doesn't care. It's not. She doesn't care if she loses money. She only cares that the site is doing what she thinks it should do, not what everybody else thinks.
So no one learned from the whole Ellen Powell thing then. In fact, she probably modeled herself after that shit. Like, yeah, here we go.
Well, now, when the shareholders and the people who lose money because of her start getting wind of what she's doing, that may change. And if I get kicked out again, I'm just going to stay out because I'm cleaning up the truck anyway.
Jeez. I see you keep going out and coming back in and going out and coming back in. It's like, what the fuck's going on?
Well, every time it pops up saying, you are removed from this call.
Same thing happened to me. It said the same thing to me.
Weird, man.
You guys might be on mute, though.
Yeah, I'm the only administrator that I know of. I don't think anybody else has an administration to where they can do it.
I think there might be on mute.
Get the fuck up in the program. I don't think it's anything.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
That's why I said earlier, if it was you, I don't think I would just be able to just hop right back in the...
No, you couldn't. If you were blocked, basically when you're kicked out, you're kind of like blocked from coming back in.
Yeah, because that prevents you from spamming it.
Yeah. So it doesn't make any sense that you're being thrown out and it's telling you that and then you're coming back in.
That shows you what kind of a patient person I am, is because I realize it's not you doing it.
Yeah.
Even though you are the only one that could, it's not you, because if I can come right back in, then it's definitely not you doing it.
Yeah.
See, I'm already looking for going back to the topic. I'm already looking for an alternative to Facebook because I fucking only use it to talk to people. I fucking hate posting shit. I like posting bulletins and stuff is handy, but fucking otherwise I only have it as basically chat software. So it's bloated as fuck for my purposes. Kind of looking for something new.
Well, I tried.
I remember when Yahoo Chat was a thing. That was my favorite
God.
way back. Then they went and fucked up, like a lot of these companies do. And
yeah, I like how Yahoo fucked that up too. They just, instead of just depreciating features, they just stopped working. So eventually nothing worked. It was like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah, and they're doing it slowly by surely, you know.
Yeah, like, yeah, we don't have to maintain this thing. Whatever, they can stay in there.
Well, it's like, you know, if they hadn't have fucked it up so bad, they would probably still be like one of the #1 chat servers. You know, if they would actually went ahead and.
Can I tell you what happened with Yahoo? Because I remember what happened with Yahoo.
Your background's destroying it.
All right. Okay, don't worry.
Hello.
See,
I
remember. Yeah, I want to get the story. Yeah, I actually don't know.
Yeah, but the background, his background noise is too much. Like I think.
Well, I can tell you guys what made me leave Yahoo, if that'll help. And maybe Alex can come in and expand on that. But when I left was when they suddenly decided that the official Yahoo chat rooms were going to be the only chat rooms, and the user-made rooms that got really popular, they quit doing those because they found out that some of those rooms were chat rooms for pedophiles, even though it was only like 2 or 3 out of hundreds.
Yeah, there was literally like fucking almost 1,000 of them at one point.
Yeah, and so they decided that because of those 2 or 3 chat rooms, instead of just having somebody monitor shit and put a stop to it that way, that, we're just going to destroy all the user rooms. Fuck them.
See, I remember old MSN chat, and the way they fucked that up is that they started charging people money for it. It's like, hello, you can get free chat software. You're not the only game in town, dickheads.
Yeah, but they for some reason they get a swelled ego and think that they are somehow the only game in town.
Yeah, and their chat sucked, man. One of my favorite activities on there was to get people to fucking say words that are on the fucking word filter.
I mean, did none of you guys ever watch a program called Silicon Valley? It's like a comedy.
Nope.
No.
Well, it's very telling because I tried like 2 years ago. I have no programming background whatsoever, but I like putting myself up to a challenge. So I actually wanted to start up this whole app or whatever, and I was going to do something similar to Facebook until I started dicking around with the different programming languages and found out that, Jesus Christ, this stuff is a fucking mammoth thing to sort out. And then I started watching this sitcom called Silicon Valley, and then it shows you. And then because like I have my uncle and a couple of these guys, they're part of their company was meant to actually go public this year, but due to the stock market, they couldn't. So I basically started studying on mergers and acquisitions and how that works. So what I've basically seen is that a lot of these companies, they hypothecate themselves, just like Japan have done, just like England have done, and all of this sort of stuff. So what they do is, I'll dovetail this together at the end, but what they do is, they basically go out and they say, right, this city, how many people is there, how many burbs and whatever, and then they use per head per capita to calculate how much money they can credit the government and pay off in the future for returns. It's not really returns, it's actually minus some gain. Credit is the best thing going because it's not gold or silver. You can be a millionaire or a billionaire on just speculation. So basically what I've seen is, the patterns that I've seen is that what's actually going on is a lot of these companies, when they start off, it might be just me or you guys in our bedrooms, and they said, we're going to create this software and we're going to do this. Everything goes fine. But the very first year, second year, then everyone starts having their own different ideas. Then someone comes to say, listen, we can make you a fortune. All you've got to do is sign here and blah, 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 because there's already like problems in the ranks. So what happens is everyone breaks out and starts doing what the hell they want to do, and they're paid upon a speculation based upon their future productivity. So they get 20 million, 50 billion. So when they get this money now, the people that started it, who had the passion for it, they're long gone because they got paid out, or Google came over, bought YouTube, bought Twitter, bought whatever the hell they bought. Because it's easier to create wealth by accumulating small companies and making sure you don't have any competition. So whereas before it might have been a homegrown thing, now is no longer that. So the people that were joining in at the beginning start to see, wait a minute, what's going on? I thought this place was for people like us. And initially it was, until big crony capitalism got over, because they believe, oh my God, we can get everyone's fucking details, we can sell it to all these Lockheed Martin and all of these big boys, so that we can, be on everyone's good side and make all the money for the rest of eternity. But it doesn't work like that, because the stock market, the mortgages, everything, the Ponzi scheme, everything was total based upon magic. Do you see what I'm talking about? So I get what you guys are coming from, and I agree to a majority, but what I've seen is on a backslide is that a lot of people still got to pay bills. And what's going to happen now is, like Harry Dent has just said recently, is that all of this stuff is gonna go away. Like it can't last forever. It's going to be a massive downturn, and everything. People are now actually going to start to, start tapping into their entrepreneurial spirits and start, making moves with other men or other people and actually doing things of value instead of just sitting around and fucking around,
Yeah.
Sounds about right to me.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
fuck. I'm one of those people who can't actually sit around and do nothing. I have a difficult time relaxing. So like I do things like programming. I actually I'm getting into sewing again. I make my own fucking handmade hand sewn hats sometimes
That's so
whenever I have
gay.
time. Yeah, I know it's awesome. But I can make beaded jewelry as well. I mean I'm already fucking pretty damn enterprising. When the new fucking world order comes, they're gonna have to watch out for me.
The New World Order.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
No one is not being part. All we have is the New World Order. You know when
I
people
know.
say, it makes me like, when people go, oh, it's me. When have you not had the New World Order? It's what I'm
Well,
talking about.
the new world order then, alright?
Yeah. But it's funny how this whole standoff, I don't know if it's true or not because I'm not there, but it shows you how a group of people can occupy somewhere, and as soon as the government comes with guns, they were talking about how you can kill us. I don't know if that's true, but supposedly, oh, you're never going to take us alive. And as soon as the shit gets serious, they just fold.
Well, it's posturing, isn't it? No one wants to commit suicide.
Exactly.
Well, the government people don't, but they want to send the people out to. You know, I always talk about how you can't fight all these stupid wars for oil if the people would just stop fighting them, because the government is the one that sends everybody, and everybody that's in the military just needs to say, no, we're not going there. There's no reason for us to be there. It's stupid. And if they just stayed home, there would be no wars. But the people are so stupid, they'll go over there and fight for oil.
I think they're scared. I think most people are petrified. I said, like, if some people haven't really, like, looked into the face of the abyss and put their hands into the face, try to kiss more and more people try to dance with the devil and realize the devil is actually shit at dancing. It might be other stuff, yeah. Well, thanks, but if the devil's actually shit at dancing, or I might be killing this guy, killing that, but actually, he's actually shit at dancing, and it's not that bad anyway. Then you sort of take up the viewpoint of, you know, people have got to get their own time. But what's happening economically, globally now, people are going to be forced. They have no choice because it's all going to go poof, and people are going to be much happier. They might have to, as you said, knitting, sewing, doing, you know, foraging themselves. That's not going to last forever because there's no way the majority of us want to go back to the days of feudalism. No fucking way. No way. No way. No way. So it's like, it's just for a time being, but the people that are seeing it now, this is why I'm so happy. The people that can see it for what it is and not get emotionally attached and say, do you know what? I've got to do this because after whatever happens next, there's got to be like a regrowth of it all. And then more and more people forget along the way, and then you have the same cycle happen in about another 90 to 100 years. But, I mean, that's just how it is for now.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Well, humans are so stupidly forgetful sometimes.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Deacon, you got most of the details correct about the Yahoo chat, but there was actually, what you forgot probably, was there was a high-profile child murder or abduction. If I remember correctly, there's an abduction, and Yahoo says, right, we've got to close this down, we're not responsible for it, basically. It was a high-profile criminal case that made them change.
Oh, really?
And there was parents groups complaining about the chat rooms. Yes, that's what happens. Because I remember the user chat rooms getting shut down. Because I used to be on them all the time, and yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of around for that, but nobody ever actually gave me a straight answer, so I had to glean what information I could. So I believe I was incredibly wrong about that, but that's the fun part about being a smart person. You can actually admit when you were wrong about it.
Yeah, and this again should be proof, preponderance proof, that something like the movie Minority Report is just complete and utter garbage. Because if these companies were so savvy in their tech know-how, they should be able to have what's it called? Yahoo Chat, and have, I don't know, bots monitor the language that people are using and automatically stop them if they perceive that over a period of a week, 2 weeks, a month, this guy's been this individual's been saying what they shouldn't be saying, and they should then go and alert the police and investigate. So
What's the what's the profit motive for them? Basically, they probably decided this is too expensive to run. Might as well just get rid of it. And it's going to might be bad publicity. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though, because you can see now, because hindsight is always 20/20. I know that's cliche, whatever. But it's like hindsight. Yeah, you can see now that even if you were stopping online pedophilia from happening, but but still next door or in your city or in your town, it's happening anyway, respective of the internet.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's equivalent of shutting down the phone service. Like some tribes cross over phone services, right? Therefore, shut the entire network down. That's what it's equivalent of. Or get rid of the postal service.
Exactly. But you can see how those guys were just using that as an excuse to just like, right, we're gonna buy you out because are we gonna take over so we can, because you can see how it just doesn't work. But yet again, a lot of these people they don't want any trouble. It's more trouble than it's worth. They'll just sell it. So you have what you have, which is they keep people like us like nomads.
You don't have a community like that. I'll tell you what, the Yahoo chat community was brilliant back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
It was so many user rooms. You could create your own user rooms, get things going. Yeah, all sorts of weirdos and whack jobs on there.
They were like Google back then. It was like we're doing right now, basically. Yeah. Yahoo could have been as big as Google if they would have kept up.
Yeah. I think it was better though. You had more intelligent people because people weren't lured in by the videos or anything like that. So I think it was higher quality of people, to be honest, because it was all text based. There was no imaging. Like, I'll tell you what. When Facebook really went down the toilet, in my opinion, back in the day, when you posted a picture and you replied, you couldn't post any more pictures. You could just reply by text. Then Facebook put the feature of like you can put pictures in every reply. So what happens is people just spam memes in debates now, and they do it to derail them a lot. Feminists actually do that a lot. They'll come in, they'll shit it up with memes. Like they'll just make appeal to mockery, basically, just spam memes, and that's it. The debate's shut down because they just spam it. Yeah. So anything that attracts morons will kill it, in my opinion. So anything like allowing people to spam pictures that attracts morons. So.
I agree with that because, as I've said many times, it's like the people. This movie, Idiocracy or whatever. Yet again, as I've said before, when I saw that in the cinema years ago, everyone was sort of laughing and ha 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 ha, and I was there with one of my pals saying, "Dude, this is actually happening right now." I don't know why people are laughing because now you can see it on Facebook, as you rightfully said, on Instagram. People just reverting back to simple-mindedness of moron. You know, just a picture. You know, people have been so debased. I actually quite find it funny, but it's like, at the same time, this is problematic.
My thing is, like, first thing in the morning as a joke, if people are asking me about big topics when I've just woke up, I'll tell them, shut up, think, make, brain hurt. But that's becoming the baseline operating status of most people anymore. Yeah, I make that joke when I first wake up, and I've actually thought about maybe I shouldn't be saying that because
you're setting a bad standard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I make that joke, like I said, when I first just woke up, and I'm not really in the mood to think about heavy topics because I haven't had coffee.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's my jam.
Yeah. What the fuck happened there? I'm on that. I'm making my own freaking deal. Stop! What? Stop it! Stop! Why are you doing this to me?
Sony BMG is gonna fucking sue the shit out of you now. Or whoever the fuck owns the music, whatever.
That's mine.
Ah, okay. Oh, really?
That's from my intro. That's from my intro. Oh. I started my site, and I'm my daily motion site, and I did a bunch. I put a bunch of stuff up there, and it's trying to it was playing the video, and I didn't want to play it. I don't know what the fuck's going on. So,
So you're jumping over Daily Motion then as well? Just
I've
having
already put up three. I've already put up 3 videos. So yeah.
But just have it as a backup channel. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I can basically go to my channel and I can grab all of my videos and then I can throw them up there.
Oh my god.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure at some point that's just going to be what everybody does, jump ship from YouTube and go somewhere the hell else.
Well,
A lot of people use it to make money, so it's going to have to be a site that actually allows you to like advertise, so that you can actually make money off of it. Because if another site pops up that doesn't fuck with people's money and actually allows you to just make your own content and doesn't try to like say like you can't do this, or I mean I understand if like somebody's talking about like killing somebody, or if they're talking about like pedophilia or something like that, but if they're just saying like stuff about normal news and shit like that, and they're just talking like people normally do, and they're just using adult language like everybody does, then shut the fuck up and leave them alone.
God, I miss the old internet.
Yeah,
I really do.
Before the SJWs got a hold of it.
It's not. I wouldn't just blame that group of people. It's when it became mainstream that was the problem, because it was Web 2.0.
Yeah.
Basically, that killed things. I think the old internet was more text-based. It was far better community, in my opinion. Because I first went on the internet in '98. It was just a completely different atmosphere, completely different. I think it was better. The only thing that's really improved, in my opinion, is more videos. There's videos everywhere. But apart from that, the internet hasn't improved, really.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I believe in the next 4 or 5 years, I'll probably be part of it. But what I'm aiming to be, because my paradigm's completely changed. But you're quite right. Starting something, because even the monies that they're paying you for YouTube, it's ridiculously low. I know how these companies have, like, one of my friends, a close friend of mine, he's like a head boy at a newspaper called City AM over here in UK, London. And he's basically telling me how the company has something like 10 million, 20 million to pay on advertising for things like YouTube and everything. But they don't even know what advertising is working and where it's getting to. So you start realizing these people that are CEOs are top boys, supposedly, they're abject morons. It's like they can't tell you the analytics. They couldn't tell you anything. They couldn't. They know they're spending this amount of money for some company, and then this company is doing something with YouTube and saying, right, instead of us actually making our product better with the amount of money we have allocated for this, all they do is just throw it at YouTube and say, right, what you guys can do is you can do an advertisement on people's channels, and hopefully that'll bring us back revenue. It's almost like all of these companies are just siphoning money and using advertising or using these sort of ideas to just keep money for the top boys, and just like work on things like YouTube advertising that don't necessarily work. And YouTube is giving the content makers pittance. It's like,
I do remember when I was a kid, my grandfather was making about $2 million a year, but he had his hands in all kinds of different stuff because he was a farmer, but he would also talk to other farmers and say, and, let them say what they would like to do. Like, man, I wish somebody would bring me, like, wood shavings from my turkey houses and make it a hell of a lot easier, or I wish, somebody would do this or that, and he would actually, hear what they wanted business-wise. He'd capitalize on that. I don't see why that's such a hard thing to do anymore.
yeah, tell me about it. And this is why, I believe at some point everyone's online right now talking to each other, but there has to be a point where everyone gets tired and say, do you know what, if we still got bills to pay, do you know what, if we want to be around people that are like-minded because we've spoken to each other over time, then what we should do, we should put our brains together, our skill sets together, and actually work for the greater good of this group and other people like us, and have something there. And that would just be the next paradigm of people. And that's actually what's going to have to happen now, because we've hit a massive wall. And the wall, it's got to change. There has to be this new level, 3.0, 3.1 or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's got to be done, and a lot of people need to be doing that. But it seems that title now is called a consultant. But these consultants are not doing anything.
I'm going to say this out loud right now. Google, if you still want my business, quit fucking kicking me out of this room when I'm in the middle of working.
I know. I haven't even been on here looking, and I keep hearing you talking, and then you go out, and then I hear you come back and be like, God damn it.
Ego will be in the middle of saying something that I want to hear, and then all of a sudden, and I'm out of the room, and it's like, you motherfuckers, I was listening to that.
Oh man.
It's because you look like an aviator. You've got the headset on, you've got the mic there, and it looks like you're ready to go Top Gun in it. That's what it. I think there might be. Scrutinized for that.
That would be my truck right behind me, and I deliver products to everywhere in the United States. Yeah, so I already do an important job, and when I'm interested in having conversation and actually saying or hearing something nice, you know, that's when they pull that shit. No.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that I've always thought about this. You know, being a psychologist, I kind of think of things in a little bit of a different way, and I think one of the biggest reasons why they like these sites and why they don't mind fucking with them is, first of all, there's so many people that are idiots that will get on here anyways, and they make money either way. But the other reason is because so many people will get on and they'll talk about all this stuff that they'd like, you know, that they think is wrong with the TV industry and with news and with the government and with the president and with foreign governments, and they talk about all these things, but they don't actually do anything. And that's what it's about. They want you to have an outlet so you can discuss things that they can regulate, but they don't want you to actually do anything. Because before this happened, before we had the internet, people that got pissed would actually go down to local city council meetings and they would actually do something. And now people don't do anything. They just get like a little magnet that they put on their car that says, I support the troops, and then they've supported the troops, and that's all they do. They don't actually do anything. So we've actually fostered this system now where people are actually kind of opting out of actually really doing anything, and they actually try to promote that.
Well, see, Shi-Nu, that's the problem. The internet gave rise to the slacktivist, the person who can show their support for whatever they like without actually fucking doing anything.
Yeah, it's really sad. Yeah. That's where we're at.
Definitely. I mean, one of my mentors says that. I mean, this guy has made billions of dollars. It goes around showing young pups like myself and other people, or whatever age you are, and he basically says the internet, and I believe that, because I remember back in secondary school or even primary school, when I had little girlfriends or whatever, or even just meeting up with your friends, you had to make sure you called someone at 5 p.m. If you don't get them at 5 p.m., you're not going to make that hour trip to their house. But what it did was, and everyone back then, I remember, all of my friends, I remember their house numbers. It could have been 10, it could have been 20. But now you have a device on you and everything like that. But I do believe that this turn that we're in right now is going to force people to get off their jacksies and to actually go and do something, because enough is enough. And this is why I'm online, because the more I see it, the more I understand that the majority of people, and yet again, going back to the talk of these people occupying this government building, it shows you yet. I don't know if that was real, whatever, but it shows a lot of people that the majority of people, even if they do combat, even if they have some form of military sort of expertise, when the going gets tough, their cowards get to going. I mean, it's understandable. So when people start getting upset, oh my fucking God, this guy, it's like, dude, you've got to understand the mind of humans. We've had one particular paradigm in its past 100 years. And for it to change, we've got to have a different form of paradigm. People have got to actually get together and just do it. The Occupy movement, that was a scam.
Do you not happen to occupy? Do you not happen to occupy?
While we're at it, I want to take a moment to bask in the glow of the fact that Ego uses.
I can't hear anything. You're too low, dude.
I said, I just want to take a moment to bask in the glow of the fact that you used the word Jaxie.
Oh yeah, I love
Like,
that one
what?
too.
The word what?
Jaxie.
Jaxie.
Oh, Jaxie. Oh, I know. I don't know. I don't
Do you
know
know what
why I
destroyed
come
it?
out with
You and your vernacular, sir.
some of a lot of people. I come out with a lot of these. There's so many words I want to use, but sometimes I've just got to remember where I am, and like people start laughing or thinking it's funny, but you know, way hey
Well,
to
no, because I know it's yet another word to describe the human ass. That's why I wanted to.
You
I
now
mean,
you've now expanded your vocabulary. Awesome.
but
Well,
because
no, I already
That's
knew that
offensive.
word. The fact that somebody actually used it, I kind of like that.
so you're going to say something about the what's it called? Pro.
Occupy.
Yeah, yeah. Carry on.
It got co-opted, didn't it? Basically, but the thing is, what the problem is, this is a problem for MRAs and MGTOW in general, is you get outsiders who've got their own agenda, and they don't really care about men. So they'll co-opt it for their own ends, and we need something pure, basically. It's got to be about men, for men. And if we can't do that, organisation is completely pointless. That's the first important step, because you'll just get people with their own agenda. They don't really. The thing is, the problem is, a lot of people here, they don't care about men. When they say, "Oh, the thing is, when I say men are getting treated bad by society, I'm saying that. I'm not saying I am. A lot of these people that come in, they're actually saying, I'm being treated bad by society. Me. And as soon as they feel better, they drop out. They don't, because they just don't care.
Well,
They don't
see,
care what's
now,
happening to the other guy.
Alex, what the paradox of Magnus Deacon is I'm not
Yeah.
getting treated badly yet. I'm still here trying to help other dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I see about all of this stuff is that when you, because last week I couldn't come on the call because it was my godson's, well, not my godson's first birthday. So I had to go with my friend. We've been friends since like secondary school. So and there's not a lot of guys that are still around, talking to each other. So I want to be supportive, especially because he has so many women in his family, and I thought, fuck this, I can't be having any of that shit on my watch. So I went over there, but what I saw immediately, I'm being more vocal as I go on. I'm a lot more vocal because I've got a lot of things to say, but I understand everyone else also has a lot of things to say, and everyone should have their time. But over there at this soiree, I saw that when you say something, a lot of these women, they'll come up with their own idea of spinning things. And I try to tell them, look, if you're going to say something, you've got to follow the fucking rules. And the rules are based upon Aristotle, Plato, Socrates. And I say to them, look, if you're gonna speak the word called anglais, English, which is French and Latin, if you're gonna speak these words, you've got to follow the rules. And the reason why you've got to follow the rules is because if we can agree that my favorite definition of logic is non-contradictory identification, if we now say that men are being used and abused, then that doesn't necessarily mean that antithesis is women are not being used and abused, but we're just basically trying to say there's got to be more of a thing for men, because we know at the end of the day, men are the only sex that actually get things done. And Shi-Nu has said many times in these videos, and he showed, and other people have said. So when a lot of men in the MGTOW movement are now getting on, abusing each other, and saying all that, they're coming from the of subjectivism. It's got to be an objective, because we are. If a group of people are subjugating me, and I seem to be the same sex as you, well, those people are by fact my enemy because of my sex. They're showing me no goodwill. So I should team up with you. So this whole thing with MGTOW, where there's mutiny in the ranks or whatever, I find it quite insane. But the reason I say that is because majority of people are not defining terms. They don't understand. It's just not about me. It's just not about you. It's just not about us individually, because as a collective, there's something fundamentally fucking us over. And we've got to be on the same terms to get over this subjective ideology and start seeing each other as a collective. So as you said about the Occupy movement, this is how it is for the majority of movements. I've been part of movements, and I just see people's body language, and I know they're working for some government organization, because you can tell the people that are working for government organizations when you're there in front of them, because you say to them, oh, have you done this, have you done that? Oh, no, but when did you find out about this? Oh, 2 years ago. And you still haven't done nothing? So why are you here? Why are you organizing something for people that you say you care about, but yet all you're doing is organizing it? You're getting people's details, you're getting people's numbers, but yet you're not walking the walk. And so, you know, this Occupy, Shields government, and what's happened now is majority of people that are Shields, they're doing it on their own volition. But crying out loud, they're not even part of no government operation. They're just morons. They're just absolute morons. And they get into the chat rooms abusing each other based upon someone's ideology. Well, if you have an ideology and have my ideology, I can't rebuttal your ideology with my ideology, because it doesn't make any sense. It's not logical. Anyway, I'm done.
It's not supposed to make sense. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And people get angry about it. I mean, that's another thing I said to Shi-Nu. No one ever remembers in one of his videos. I said, look, women are not logical. You can't take them seriously, majority of them, because they come from a subjective point of view. They don't have any logical reason. You can't take someone that has this sort of mind frame seriously. To do so puts you at the same level of a moron.
Yeah. Can I say something which I've discovered the past few weeks? I've been aware of this for the past few months, but I've been discovering this because to me this is very important, basically, because we've got to deal with reality. We've got to deal with what's really going on before we can actually make plans. And there's a lot of men within the MGTOW community who are asking women to marry them all the time, flirting with them, telling them they love them. Because what I do, I speak to MGTOW groupies, the female groupies, and I was suspicious at first, but too many of them are saying the same thing, right? And some of the women I've talked to seem trustworthy. I've known them for a while, and they get offers all the time, basically. And what a lot of men do is they go hot and cold as well, which is very embarrassing. They worship the women, and then they go nuts and call them whores, and then they start worshipping them again, then they go nuts again. There's a lot of crazy people who just want women back within MGTOW. That's all it is. It's like a man dance, saying, "Oh, I don't need you. I'm a real man. I can go my own way." That is to a lot of these men. They don't care about themselves, and they don't care about other men.
I mean, this guy that I listened to, he just basically, I'll find his name now, but he just basically came out to say MA MGTOW advice. He just came out today to say that he's no longer a MGTOW, and he put some stuff in his video, which I see where it comes from. And this is why, if anyone has checked out my videos, I just laugh about shit because I just see the point of it. And I said to respond, I said, he said some stuff. I said, look, this is why I like your vibe. I said, most men are angry at women. This is pointless because it's in women's nature to be insane. A lot of these guys are pussy beggars. They want the golden uterus so badly, but cry when it doesn't squirt their way. Leave them to. I mean, you've got to.
There's one thing I'd like to point out when people go, women are insane, it's in nature, blah, blah, blah. There's one thing about the fairer sex that is true. And
Oh,
Hello?
they cut him off again.
Yeah,
They didn't want us knowing the secret, damn it. No.
No. They took him by the kneecaps.
Don't
Oh,
say
he's back
secret.
again.
Yeah.
I'm getting kicked out all the time.
Don't say the
just
word.
kicked
Oh, he's gone again.
Damn it,
Bloody,
man. Why'd you have to drag me out with you?
Don't
Oh,
say
bloody
the
hell.
secret. If you say the secret, they kick you out.
Okay.
Ego, let me
Can I-
enlighten you about something. Ego, the reason I'm a MGTOW isn't because, you know, I want the golden uterus so bad. I think I'm actually one of the few who actually I just don't have time for that shit. I don't tell guys not to have relationships or anything either. I just say, look, man, if it works for you, it works. Do what you want to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
But my standpoint is that because you go and say, sorry, you were saying the secret.
No.
Tell
Hello?
us the secret.
Just pro Mel. The secret.
You gotta tell us. We're curious now.
I think
Eating
Google's
us alive.
fucking with him even harder.
Yeah.
God almighty.
Google doesn't want us to hear that secret. Come on, man, spit it out quick.
Got to send him some Vaseline on Amazon.
God almighty. The secret sauce. Come on. Yeah, I mean, when he comes back on again. But with me, as like, personally, my story is, the first thing I ever knew was a woman's vagina. At the age of 4 or 5, I was always hanging around with older guys. So I got used to women at an early age. I was doing things with girls and all sorts of shit I shouldn't be doing. And I saw from an early age that they're just manipulators. But I also realized it must be because there has to be a dynamic here that accepts this sort of stuff. And through my adult life, I saw this to be true. So it gets to the point that you realize, look, if this is how it is, there's no point getting really mad at it and trying to say, oh my God, all women are bastards. A woman will tell you that they're crazy. If a woman tells you, well, women are just crazy, then if you want to go and find out scientifically why they're crazy, that's to your own doing. But initially, if you're out saying you're a MGTOW, you might not be. But I know a lot of men who still want to be with women. We know this, but there are certain men that have gone into the stage of not really caring anymore. Because even if you get that vagina, even if you get married, even if you have children, there's still things that have got to happen afterwards. And that sort of stuff that needs to be done can't be done when you have another individual, be it a male or a woman, giving you fucking grief. That's just the bottom line of it. So if most men, well, some of these guys still want to have, bow down to the golden uterus, that's good for them. But don't now come back and start getting upset at other people that don't share your sentiments, because walk that path. Like my friend that I told you guys that on the 1st of January, he found out his missus was fucking another guy, even whilst they were getting married. They were dancing with each other, and he can smell another man's testicles from her mouth. I mean, God almighty, within 48 hours, he's back there. What are you going to do? You can't
Ego,
get
it's all ego. It's all a matter of. Most of the problem is these guys don't want to acknowledge their own nature or true female nature, and I don't mean that crap about women are evil and blah blah blah. I'm talking about human nature dictates that humans are stupid, and when you can get past human nature and accept that that's just the way people are, then like me, you can just be happy with whatever life throws your way.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But the majority, see, what I realize with human nature as well, there's evidence, there's a preponderance of evidence that is going to send the average individual into a state of insanity. They can only deal with, -1. They can't deal with 1. They can't deal with 2. They can only deal with -1. If they was understood what you were just saying there, which I completely understand, then they will see it as take it and leave it. I'm not really fussed. But the majority of them can't even understand that. So it will be pointless for someone to even address that, because all they're going to do is turn around and try to stab you like, they did to Jesus Christ. If that ever existed, which I didn't.
Ego, here's the funniest part. Most people, when they get into a traffic accident or they
Dude, it's both of them at the same time.
They took him. Oh God, pour out a little liquor.
Just flogging the shit out of him until he's like, no, you gotta.
God no, motherfucker.
Oh, there he is. Nazareth.
Anyway,
damn Jesuits.
What I was saying before them damn Gentiles kicked my ass out of the room was, most people will get into a tizzy when they get into a traffic accident or a tire blows or You know, just anything that happened, anything that, you know, was unforeseen, but, you know, it happened. You know, most people will get their ass bent out of shape, whereas I'm just like, okay, this happened, now I got to deal with it. And that's what I
See,
don't understand.
I'm the same way. I'm one of those people who like laughs at stupid shit when it happens. People are like, why the fuck are you laughing? I'm like, well, what else am I gonna do?
As I was
That's the whole point. That's the whole point of the internet,
it's
right
not,
there.
well,
They don't want
but it's
anybody
not,
to do anything.
well, but it's not even laughing. It's just like bending over and looking at the blown tire, or where somebody, you know, I've got a scrape mark on my truck from where some asshole hit it in California while they were backing into a parking spot next to me. What am I going to do? Get pissed off? It's happened and they were long gone. But so what can I do except for look at it and go, well, fuck, I'm going to have to get something to cover that up.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it. And that's it. There's nothing else I can do.
Yeah.
Getting myself into a fucking, getting my ass in a knot over it ain't going to help shit because it's still going to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so funny, but I mean, I know a lot about white feathering back First World War when they used to First World War they used to white feather a lot of men that didn't want to go to war.
White feather camel.
Right, and then also they were saying back then also you had women that were basically marrying 3 or 4 men, and like because they knew they were gonna die, they were picking up checks. So they were saying how basically a guy when he's about to die on the battlefield, he'll give his friend, oh, you know, when you get back to London or America, go and see my sweetheart. Oh, I love her. And they go, yeah, and he'll get the picture. And he'll get back to, and he'll go, fucking hell, we're married to the same bird. I'm like, you know, we're married to the same bird. So there's 4 or 5 like women, like 4 or 5 men married to the same woman, because back then it was wars and a lot of these women did do. And then I saw this film the other day called Buonasera, Mrs. Campbell, made in 1967 or something. And it was the same sort of thing, you know. These American soldiers went back to Italy and they found that, you know, this woman was picking up a check, 3 checks a month for 20 years. My daughter. And then when you see things like that, you think to yourself, this scheme of scams has been going on forever. So what you've got to do is you can't beat yourself up about it. We didn't make this situation. We're in it. For us to now start getting angry and going at other men or going at other women or going at other people in general, I just think God Almighty, I mean, humanity's looking piss poor right now. They're not really doing what they can to make a better, you know, make good out of a terrible situation. So I agree with everything that you're saying, because at some point a lot of these guys got to know that, look, it's not all about the golden uterus, dude. You know, it's about the sun, the skies, the bird, the bees, the ups and downs, life itself, you know. But you can't tell these guys that.
So holy shit, now I've got a boner. Well, no, but
these guys always make me laugh, you know. The ones that I'm always telling guys to stop trying to fuck these women. You know, if you ever think you're going to get over on a woman and you're going to be able to just have sex with her and not have something from that possibly happen to you, whether it's a false claim of rape or something like this, you're an idiot, because it's this crapshoot. You have a much higher chance of not only having problems like that, but you're sleeping with these slutty bitches. What happens if you get like AIDS or herpes or syphilis or gonorrhea or chlamydia or vaginal warts or, you know, all the other.
I don't think guys are getting vaginal warts.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what I mean. Like, you know, there's so much shit that you can fucking get from these nasty hoes outside of being thrown in fucking prison.
Well,
you know, every time you take your dick and put it in a woman, you never know what the fuck's gonna happen. The easiest thing that could happen is that you get her pregnant. There's all kinds of other shit that can end your life completely if you fucking take that chance.
Oh, he's gone again. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And this is why a lot of the guys, even some of the young boys that I used to talk to when I was going around my escapades, because women have never really been much of a problem. It's just been almost like, you know, I mean, God Almighty. But I was telling these guys, I was saying to them, look, dude, I mean, and a lot of them realize now because these guys who be the best they can be, you know, they're going out, they're doing this, they're educating themselves, and then they'll find a woman. Oh my God, she's the one. I'm going to look after her. Then they get involved with these women and realize these women haven't got nothing to offer.
They never have. They got one thing to offer, and that's a wet pussy. And most of them don't even know how to use it.
Exactly.
I've been with so many women. I always tell guys the sluttiest women that you meet are always the worst in bed because they get very complacent because they think they can live off their laurels and they think, well, all these guys find me cute and want to have sex with me, so I'm just going to let all these guys fuck me and give me money and buy me dinner and all this shit. And they just lay there like a codfish. They don't actually fuck. They never give head. If they do, they're really bad at it. They scrape their teeth on your dick. So they don't even know how to fuck, and they're the worst in bed. And these guys will be like, oh, I met this really nice girl. And it's like, you don't know what real sex is to say that this girl's good in bed.
Now, Shi-Nu, you wouldn't be sitting there telling the truth now, would you?
That's all I do. Especially when it comes to women. That's all the fuck I do.
Yeah, I'm still cleaning up the truck, so whenever I hop in and out, it's like I have to get back in the truck and go, God damn it.
But it's, you know, a lot. I mean, it's, you know, everyone you know, takes the swings and hits and misses. But I'm glad that now the internet, there's groups like, you know, you men, us guys, actually speaking about this, because the generation before, they didn't say a fucking dicky bird. When I was going through my ups, go on.
I was to say, not at all. Like, fucking, I can recall all the fucking words said about relationships and handling women on on one hand. 5 words, you know? Don't get her pregnant. And that's it.
Yeah, and that was shit, because when I was growing up, going through my upheavals with women at 15, 16, 17, 18 and everything, I had to basically, like, navigate through this stuff, holding the ideas of, you know, Shogun Assassin, James Bond, all of the, you know, Charleston Heston, all of these guys from the movies. I had to learn from the movies how to navigate you, and then you're speaking to your compadres, your fellow guys. You think you're all, you know, chiming on the same levels, but you're not, because they're telling you, oh, you're such a bastard to these women. Oh, if I had her, I'll treat her better than you. Motherfucker, please, dude. I mean, Jesus Christ. And I think it's good now that there's more and more content being done about this issue. Because it's a lot of men are going to realize, after I get this woman pregnant, after I have a child, after I commune with her, have a holy communion in the bed place, I've still got to go and make a fucking living. I've still got to go and find time with my compadres. I've still got to go and exercise my loves that I like to do, because this woman's golden uterus is not the be-all and an end-all. And a lot of them are just fighting against reality. And I suppose you just got to leave a lot of these guys to it, but at the same time, do the content. And I think that's very important. We all got to keep doing our content, because there has to be a fucking equilibrium at some point. It's been going the opposite way for too long. More and more people should know about white feathering. More and more people should know about, you know, a woman being able to... I mean, how many men would know if they're women had sex with 10 other guys just before they came to him? Not many. They wouldn't know.
Well, guys will lie to themselves. You know, they don't care how many guys the girls fuck. They'll lie to themselves and say she's just a sweet girl because she likes me and she lets me fuck her, so she must be a nice girl.
That's why nature and the universe added specified odors to a woman's cooter. That way you can tell when she's been fucking more than one dude.
Yeah, but not a lot of guys spend their time. I remember at a young age, like, you know, fingering these women and feeling their textures of their vaginas and going, the continuity of this ejaculate, what compared to this one, blah blah blah. Really taking,
like sciencing the shit out of this.
I had to.
Well,
because
that's why I always tell people the nose knows.
No, he's actually onto something. I think smell is like the oldest of the senses in terms of evolution.
Yes, and that's why when I was with other women smell other women on me. And God Almighty, did they give themselves to me even more? Oh God, it was lovely. I was like, what's going on here?
Well, when I go out, I have so I make my own pheromones now. Thank fuck, because I was using fake pheromones. But when I sometimes just to fucking be a real bitch, I'll like fucking put a ton of it on me. Not like much, like a couple of drops. It's
Wait,
really
wait a
powerful
minute.
shit.
Wait a minute here. Wait a minute. I remember
What?
watching a program called Northern Exposure when I was a nipper.
Mhm.
And there was a guy in this. I think he was in Sex and the City, and he actually he had his own pheromones, and he used to spray these pheromones on himself, and he used to get all the women. So you make your own pheromones.
It's no. I don't make them in like a lab. I mean, I produce them in my body now because I'm fucking all feminized and shit.
Ah, gotcha.
So, yeah, but I use artificially generated ones too, and fucking I do it just to piss off women and fucking drive dudes insane. It's fucking psychological warfare, man. It's fucking awesome.
So how do you do this then? Because this sounds like a bag of fun.
Yeah. I just ordered them online, right? I put like a drop under 2 drops under my neck, and then like some on my like a couple on my chest, and then as I sweat throughout the night, I do this when I go clubbing or to bars and stuff like that. It just fucking emits this aura around me of fucking scent, and it pisses women off so fucking much because they cannot help it. They just like fucking bitch, and I'm just like.
Well, now see, but you're getting to see the difference in the male reaction versus the female reaction to a woman who's giving off just the right pheromones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's fucking hilarious because guys will talk to me and shit like that, and I go out and admit I'm trans. I don't fucking I don't try to hide it. I'm not one of those fucking bitches. But yeah, they don't give a shit. It's because I'm fucking with them on a subconscious level. They can't help it.
But that's just it. That's why, like me, I don't know how, but I've got like a incredibly strong sense of smell. I think it is hereditary. But because of that, I think, I'm more willing to examine, okay, what am I smelling and why is it affecting me this way? You might see my facial expression change a few times while I'm pondering it, but it's not just that animalistic reaction. It's, okay, wait a minute, why am I smelling this and why is it making me feel this way?
Sure, yeah, but a lot of people aren't that they're pretty fucking dense, right? So yeah, they don't analyze the shit out of it like say you would.
You remind me of Hannibal Lecter from the series who's just gone of Hannibal, just smelling fear, smelling when a woman's breasts are throbbing. Oh,
That's awesome.
Yeah, but when I was growing up, I used to do all sorts of things with these women, experiment on them, and it brought me, I can go back to that now. It's very easy to do that, but as I've said, I'm looking to create an empire. So I know that at this my godson's party the other day, a few of his mother's girlfriends were just swooning all over me, just trying to talk to me, just completely not interested, because at the end of the day, I've got 21-year-olds after me, 25-year-olds. Why am I going to settle down with a woman who's like 38? She's pissed off at the world. She probably wants me to help her with her student debts. She probably wants to like suck the living daylights out of me. Why would I do this? If you're so good, why didn't the last fucker marry you? If you're so prestigious, why aren't these guys just, beating themselves for you? There must be something to this, and a lot of guys have got to realize this, The golden uterus isn't all that, dude. I mean, right, you can take her for a spin, a few times a night, a few times a week, but after that, you've got to talk to the cunt. And sometimes the conversation is shitty. What are you going to do then,
That's why I stopped dating women at all, because I couldn't actually have a conversation at all. I was like, yeah, banging's great and all, but that like 2 days later, I'm fucking like, I have to somehow communicate with you, and it gets really fucking really difficult. So I was like, fuck it, I just can't be bothered.
That's why women don't like me that much after a little bit of conversation, because they figure out that I already know that fucking ain't the be-all, end-all, and if they can't offer anything more than that, then I'm not interested. That's why women absolutely fucking hate me. Because I already figured out a long time ago that the bedroom only goes so far.
But I don't really think that what we're suggesting here is any sort of, I don't think it's like the silver bullet that women feel that is going to destroy their centuries of gynocentrism or, you know, duping men. Because even the movies or the things that I've seen, society is hardwired to accept women's bullshit. So the majority of guys or women, they shouldn't really get angry. They should just be, you know, happy to know that things are how they are. That they should. I don't. People shouldn't really get too bogged down about it. It would be awesome if you had a group of women, for the guys that do want to go back to the plantation, to have a few women that actually realize what they were doing and try to be better. But majority of people don't even have it in them. You know, New Year's resolution, majority of people don't follow that. So how are you going to follow a life learnt thing in you? But a lot of guys, yeah, they still can't grasp it, and good for them, because they're just going to have to get cleaned out. And it's, you know, I used to try to, a few of my girlfriends that I used to have, we used to go to this sort of like sauna place in Kentish Town. A lot of guys used to go there, and these girls are quite attractive. And I used to try to persuade these girls that I should be their pimp. I said, we're going out to these places. All of the guys used to come to me. Oh, could I please talk to your girls? Yeah, sure, don't touch them, or, you know, do whatever to you. But I said to them, listen, if these guys are going to pay you all of these money, why don't you do it? I mean, give me 70%, you take 30. Why not? I mean, if you're in it to win it. But you can see, because I saw it, they used to speak how they wanted to do these things to men, but when it came down to taking actions, they can't do it. And a lot of women are like that. They can't do it. They want to see themselves as mysterious, or being with a vampire, this Dorian Gray arm. But the majority of women are not like that. They haven't got it in them. They're just useless, you know. So.
Yeah, there's guys that actually believe that these girls that got these crap, you know, things from colleges and stuff, you know, these crap degrees and stuff, that they're actually worth something in life, you know, that they're, you know, I've got this girlfriend and she's really good at this or she's really good at that. And when it comes down to it, most of the stuff that women are good at don't really do anything in society. You know, I mean, not anything really big. I don't see any cities in the world that a woman has built. You know, you don't see any cities where, you know, a majority of the trash truck drivers are women. You know, the things that make cities and countries run are not done by women. And not only are they not done by women, but women don't want to do them. So it's not like we're trying to put women down by saying that they don't do them. They don't want to do it. So the fact that they can sit there and say that, like, this is the big thing that I have problems with feminism, is they want to come in after men have built everything and take over and say that we're going to run it. Well, you didn't make it. You're taking credit for other people's work, you know?
Oh, yeah, it pisses me off.
Yeah, why don't you go out, you make your own fucking city, you do your own little feminist thing, you all can sit around sucking each other's pussies, and you can make your own fucking city, and then you can say, look at what we did. And once you've done that, and you have engineers, and you have builders, and you have planners, and they all build the city and do the water systems, and they make their whole fucking thing, and you have a whole city ran by lesbian, you know, dyke women, well, then you can come back to men and say, look what we did. Women are just as important as men. But until you've done that, you don't have the right to sit there and take men's jobs and what men have done and then try to take credit for it.
Here. Yeah, exactly.
Well, the bad thing is feminists don't seem to understand that, like, when I was a kid, I heard that phrase a lot where it's like, well, you know, we got a job that needs doing. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And then somebody would finally say, well, it's a job that's got to be done. Somebody has to do it.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm always that guy. I was always that guy. I would be the first one. They'd say this has to be done. I'd say where, when, how. I was always the person doing it.
And that's why a lot of these other guys that are stragglers need to realize that if they're going to like give up their whole life for the golden uterus, that they are they're going to be in the world of hurt, because you need to have the action, guys. And this is why I've said from the get-go, what I'm doing now is focusing on men. It's because I realize you don't go to the party that has no power. You go to the party has great potential. You go to the party that's tried and tested, that they actually do shit. And that's just not the females. And when females try to argue to say, as we've said before, look at a Ronda Rousey, look at this. I mean, look at Ronda Rousey now. All of these things happen where this bell curve idea, they take one individual and they'll take one woman like Ronda Rousey and they'll put her up against 1 million men. Don't take the fucking piss. Don't take the piss. Holly Holm battered her. You could, even before this Ronda Rousey fight happened, me and my friends, we used to do something called Krav Maga. We did it for years, and he used it because I'm pretty good at it, pretty good at fighting. They always try to say, "Oh, you beat up this guy." And I said, and when Ronda Rousey came up, I didn't want to say to him, "Look, I don't give a flying monkeys, mate. Number one, no woman's gonna kick my ass. No fucking man's gonna kick my ass. The only reason I know this is because I would not put myself now to fight any man or any woman over complete rubbish. Number two, if I was going to get into a fight with Ronda Rousey, I can bet you if I gave her one nice punch in the midsection, she's going to go down. I don't care how tough she is. But yet again, you have a lot of men that will go, oh, they believe the fucking hype. They believe the fucking hype. They have videos.
They've been like all their moms and their sisters and their girlfriends have told them that women are just as good as men, and they don't actually know any different than that. I've said in my videos before that these women that like with Ronda Rousey, I said it in a couple of my videos, where if you took a high school kid, like say a kid in 10th or 11th grade that played football since he was pee-wee football, never fought a day in his life. He's just had a few high school, scraps and stuff. He's lifted weights, mildly most of his life. He's a typical kid, about the same size as Ronda Rousey, weighs about the same as her, maybe even a little bit less. If you put him in a ring with Ronda Rousey, he would kill her, And this is some high school fucking kid, just a boy, a high school boy. And they don't want to see that. They want to say, like, not only could that kid not beat her up, but she could beat up like fucking Leon Sphinx, or somebody that's fucking gonna kill her, Well, and they're like, oh no, she's such an awesome fucking fighter. She's gonna fucking beat up any guy that gets in the ring with her. Well, they're just living in fucking La La Land.
She knew the problem with that, though, and the reason why Ronda Rousey got her ass kicked by Holly Holm was because Ronda Rousey started to believe her own bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I said that too. I've said that too before in some of my videos. Is the problem that she had is the same problem that Tyson had. They get to this point where they're so big and they got so much hype behind them, they start believing it and they stop working out the way they used to because they train really fucking hard. And they train so fucking hard, and then they become great. And then they get to the point where, like how Tyson was. He was knocking guys out in, like, the first 15 seconds of a round. Well, then why do I got to fucking run 5 miles a day if I can knock a guy out in 15 seconds?
It's because you still got to maintain.
They stop running 5 miles, and they start not running at all. And then pretty soon they get knocked out.
That's because they don't realize that in order to do that one hit first round, you have to maintain that same level of strength.
Exactly.
You got to keep working out, and these people will get really big, and they're like, hey, I'm tough, I'm strong, I don't have to work out anymore. I can just get in the ring and knock people out. And it doesn't work that way. Never has.
People are dumb. That's what it boils down to. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Summary.
They're dumb and they're naive.
I've always said that when people used to say to me, "Oh, humanity has come so far, they've done so many good," this means no, specific humans, specific. The ones that the scientists that went out and gave us electricity. These individuals, these are they're the exception to the rule. If you look at the bell curve, you have a lot of these guys on either way, like they're really exceptional. But when people make this, you know, this blanket statement, oh, human beings have done this, human beings, no, motherfucker, no, because you can see now, even certain parts of England, even certain parts of America or whatever, you're having individuals still behaving in savage ways, and you can't really blame them for it. But yet, when they talk, when they give this blanketed statement, oh, we've done this, or women are doing this, you see, and this is the problem with a lot of men. When they buy into this idea, what are they saying? And because I liked that one of the videos that Turf Linking Monkey spoke about when he was saying what monkey was it? What did he say? The bobo monkey that they became so fucking effeminate that all of the men became.
You're talking about his video about the bonobo.
Yeah, bonobo. And the thing is, you know, a lot of these things, even with Shi-Nu, a lot of these things that I hear, because I already thought about these ideas years ago. This is why I feel comfortable to reach out to say, let's get on a talk, because it's not the same sentiments morons are spewing all the time. Because you just can't tell me, just because a woman, and the thing with Ronda Rousey and a lot of these women, you see a 5-minute clip of her flinging over some guy that is just stood still. Some guy that's probably, I don't know, is just jismed in his fucking boxer shorts because he's seen Ronda Rousey. She's not even good looking. Because he stood there and she slams him to the floor. All of a sudden, oh my fucking God, this woman is marvelous, blah, blah, blah. And if she's marvelous, so what? Don't fucking worship her. Don't go out there worshipping other men. Don't go out there worshipping these women. For crying out, and this is why a lot of people are just fucking morons, mate.
They have to. That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. This culture that we have now with the internet, these people don't actually do anything, and they have to worship those people because they'll never do that in their life. Nobody nowadays has enough like self-determination to actually go down to a gym, to work out for a couple of years, to learn some martial arts, and to get in a ring and maybe get punched in the face. So these women want to get in these women want to stand behind her, and like I was talking about the other day in my video about the outliers, that's what she is. She's an outlier. They don't want to accept the fact that I'm just a regular woman. I'm going to get married. I'm going to have kids, and I'm going to be a nobody most of my life. Nobody's really going to know my name. When I die, nobody but my family is going to know who the fuck I am. So they want to say, no, look, I'm just as important as Ronda Rousey. I can do what she did because she's a woman and so am I. So that means I can do what she did.
Oh man, they called it USI, unwarranted
guys,
stalking.
let me throw in my version of that. The way I've always said it is that the worthless always feel the need to worship the exception.
Yes, but when they're exceptional and not even that fucking exceptional, I mean, look. These are so many things that I see in society. Like when you know someone, Shi-Nu said it before, when you know he spoke about being shot at 5, and when I make comments of when I used to work in a prison, for 7 years, and it's just certain things because when I was younger. I said it before. When I saw adults around me, I saw they were behaving like morons, based upon the sort of videos and the films that I used to watch as a young child from all these movies. So I believe that the standards were meant to be very high. So when I saw people behaving in moronic ways, I just didn't listen to them. And then especially when they were referenced to me, oh, you should read this book, you should read that book. And I said, have you read that book? They go, yeah. And I used to make a note to myself, well, I make sure I don't read that book because if you read it, you're a fucking moron, mate. This is logic. That was logic at age 5, logic at age 6. So basically what I'm saying is that now you have individuals where you can see a crime scene. You can see a crime scene. If you know how a car works, if you know how the human body works to a certain degree, if you know opposite opposite reactions. You will know the look. If I was to get a mobile phone and throw it at a hard fucking object, the shit would smash to smithereens. Depending if it's just a normal phone, it's not made out of rubber, blah blah blah. But what
Not an
happens is
Nokia.
no,
Just think
not,
last
not a
forever.
Nokia, not a Nokia. But then what you do is you
Yeah,
watch
if you throw a Nokia at the front end of the car, you'll be lucky if the car survives.
Yeah, exactly. It'll never break, you know. That thing could fall off the fucking Empire State Building and still be fine.
Yeah, I threw one out of a window one time and it got ran over by a car, and I picked it up and called my mum on it just to say, hey, my phone's fine.
Yeah,
Didn't
exactly.
even leave a dent on it.
That was
Alright,
one of my first cell phones back before I came to Japan back in the late '90s. I had a Nokia, and I got another one for my wife. Those I don't understand why they can't build stuff like that anymore.
tell me about
You
it.
know?
Oh my god.
You know, that's the way
because
I mean, you got these iPhones, and you drop it. You're sitting on your bed, and you drop it on the floor, and the screen breaks.
you know, I
You
can
look
tell
at
you,
it and it just
I
shatters,
can
yeah.
tell you guys exactly why they don't build shit like that anymore. It's because if they do, nobody has to buy one for a long, long time. And
Yeah.
that doesn't-
Planned obsolescence.
Yeah, they need to. I've always thought, like, there's so many cars that are coming out now that are just junk. You know, they're just plastic pieces of shit. They try to say, oh no, but they're more safe. I don't give a fuck about safety. I want a car that looks nice because I'm a car guy. That's what I like. I don't want a big plastic piece of shit that looks like a wet turd. You know. So what these companies should do is they need to start making motors, making engines and drivetrains, and then they can take an old car, like say a '57 Chevy that's a fucking nice, sexy-ass car, and take a new engine with a new style motor and new components, and make them to where they fit on that old car. So that basically you don't need to get a new car. You can just take your car down to the dealership, and they can tell you they have this new drivetrain that's, you know, hybrid and runs off of E85, or has like a, you know, it can run off of alcohol or gas or whatever you want it to, and they can put that system in your car, and you just take your car down to the dealership and they just mount it on your car, and now you got a new car.
It's
You
kind of
know?
like in Back to the Future when they upgraded the DeLorean, what you're saying.
Yeah, that's how they should do. That would make them a lot of money if these companies would stop using resources. Because I don't know if you guys have seen the pictures, but in America, there's actually huge swaths of land where they've actually produced vehicles that have never been driven and never been used because nobody wants to buy them. Nobody buys. There's very few people that buy new cars anymore, but they have government contracts and they have to keep up with a certain amount of production every year. So they make those cars, even though a lot of those cars never even get used, and lots of them sit in fields until they're completely derelict. They go and grab those cars and throw them into a crusher, and then they squash them all down and they make another car with it. And they just continually do that over and over and over again. So there's literally millions of cars in the United States in fields that aren't even being driven and will never be sold, you know. And these companies are just wasting money, and they're doing it because the government is allowing them to do that, and they've set up regulations that allow them to do that so that these companies can make money off of doing that. And if we deregulated them and wouldn't allow them to do that anymore, these companies would be forced to actually have a business that actually makes money on its own and doesn't use government handouts to make that money.
Yeah, but that's not profitable to the government. That's why they still do that crap.
Because from the Freedom of Information Act that I've been able to get my hands on, it's just a perpetual thing of government just spreading debt to increase. How do they state it on this form? To increase morale, some bullshit like that. The way it was worded was quite sickening, and it's yet again the guys that want to impress these women. They'll think that they've got to get that car to impress this woman. It's quite weird when you look at it, and this is why I want to invest more into 3D printing. I'm trying to sort myself out to the point where I can just print my own shit. Anything, if I want to make a birthday cake for my godsons, I'd fucking put it in a 3D printer, or actually know how to make it myself. But when it comes to a thing of not having to rely on going out again. I mean, I cut my own hair. I used to be a barber. You're able to do these things. The amount of money that you saved, did you see where I'm coming from? It's more productive, but I believe it could be this feminine ideology of having to have the pretty thing, and everyone appeals to novelty, where it's got to be new. And I agree with you. I mean, I knew that they had electric cars back in the early 90s in America, and that they're trying to bring them out, bringing them back again. But if you're going to have an electric car and it's costing £30,000-40,000, and as soon as you drive it off the lot, it's half the price, and then you're now going to start putting stipulations upon it, you're going to start increasing the insurance, or it just doesn't make much sense. And it's gotten to a point where you're right, people need to be lobbying these people, but as you said, there's a popularity context. They're probably going to have, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio, the president of the United States, in another 20 years.
So what, you're telling me he'll be president, but he won't win an Oscar?
I mean, didn't he win the Oscar for this? What's it called that just came out? What was the movie that just came out? Reverence. Who's seen Reverence? Has anyone seen?
No,
I don't even watch fucking movies anymore.
I know the real story of that, though. The real story was actually kind of, I mean, leave it to Hollywood to make a story of something so mundane. It's kind of a silly story of a true story that really happened. A guy was basically, he hired some guys, and he was hired by some guys to like lead them, and he knew the way through the forest, and he was kind of an old mountain man, and he led him through the forest for like quite a few miles, thousands of miles, or I don't know if it was 1,000 miles, but it was a long way that he had led them through the forest and showed them how to get someplace. And then accidentally, you know, they were wandering through the forest, and a bear attacked him, and he got mauled by the bear. And then these guys, they were, instead of leaving somebody to help them while they went and got help, they just thought he was going to die. So instead of trying to help him, they just walked off and left him there to die. So this guy got, like, that actually pissed him off that these guys did that to him. So he actually drug himself to the nearest town, got helped, and then he went looking for those guys that left him so that he could go kill them. And then he actually never did kill them. He forgave them in the end. You know, so it's really kind of a dumb story, but that was what they made the movie The Reverend, because it was actually a true story of a real guy.
Well, because when I saw it, I mean, I didn't go to the cinema to watch it. I mean, my nephew wants to come and take me out now, but I saw that movie and I thought, But I'm thinking to myself, like, Leonardo DiCaprio is getting an Oscar for portraying someone who got this. I mean, the bear scene was atrocious. If you guys have the bear scene, even I thought, I said, Jesus, the bear ripped him apart. I mean, seriously, it was terrible. God, how could you survive that?
Well, he didn't win an Oscar. He got nominated for the Oscar just to.
Oh, he didn't win it. Oh, he's not. Okay,
yeah, he never fucking wins. That's the fucking thing about it. They always there's an internet meme where he just fucking has a bunch of disappointing looks for not winning an Oscar.
Okay, I thought he actually okay, but all right, if he doesn't win,
nominated several times.
He's either gonna be him. We know Brad Pitt, but Angelina Jolie, definitely the UN. They're gonna take her on. Definitely.
I'm hoping.
Bruce, Caitlin.
I'm hoping that who's gonna win it is gonna be the guy, I forget his name, Redrick or whatever his name is, the guy that did the Danish Girl. I'm hoping he wins it.
Is the Danish Girl any good?
Yes, I haven't seen it, but I really want to. It looks really, really good. I want to see it. It's looks like a great movie.
Because from what you said about the Reverence, I mean, the storyline that you said in comparison to this is completely different. I mean,
exactly. Of course, they've got to make it, like a superhero type movie so that people will want to see it. Because the actual reality of what really happened was kind of, silly.
I mean, have you ever seen the series called what's it called? Breaking Bad. Have you seen that?
No, I was actually a fan when that TV show came out, and Like I've said before, I haven't actually owned a TV in like over 16 years, so
right,
I don't even watch TV. I get most of my information like most millennials do on the internet. You
Same
know,
here.
so if anything comes up, or like people say like, wow, this movie is really cool, it pops up on YouTube or it pops up on Yahoo or up on Facebook, and I'll watch the preview, and then maybe I'll go rent the movie, or I'll try to find it for free on YouTube, because you know, if you wait a few years, usually
That's
it
right.
pops up on YouTube for free and you can watch it.
They
You
also
know,
have special
or
deals as well
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, or sometimes YouTube actually you can pay like $3.99 or something and watch the movie for free, you know, or for
Or you
$3.99.
or you
You
can
know,
get a software called Kodi, and you can watch the whole thing. But it's
yeah,
like when the reason why I say that is because Vice actually interviewed a guy that this Breaking Bad was based on. I don't know much about. I knew they started off in the UK, but I might be wrong, years ago when I used to be a doorman. But it's like they did an interview with this guy, and the guy said, "Look, man." He goes, "This is meant to be a depiction of what I went through." He goes, I didn't do it to that fucking level." He said, "It's all." And this is the thing. So a lot of, even when they speak about people that are criminals, because I remember in one of the conversations you were talking about Amy Winehouse. I met Amy Winehouse once. She came to the prison to visit her lover, and I took her around. And oh God, she was the Walking Dead. Shi-Nu. Amy
yeah,
Whitehouse. She was literally the Walking Dead when I met her. She
yeah,
was out.
She looked like it though. I mean, she
yeah. Well, that's
fucking got
I've
every
talked about it
needle stuck into her.
before. She was our, like the millennials and the people that were born in the 90s and 80s and 70s and stuff. She was our like Aretha Franklin. I mean, a lot of
God,
people don't know how good of a singer she was and how good of a talent she was. That girl was amazing. And the day she died, if I was there, I would have went and just smacked her parents in the face, because they are actually the ones that let her die. Yeah, she was only in her 20s, but somebody should have went into that house when she was doing what she was doing. They should have had a handler, you know, because she was, when you get as big as she gets, they should have had a handler that just went in there, and every time she wanted to get a drink or do drugs or something, that somebody should have just walked up to her and smacked her in the face, and then told her how important she was to society and how talented she was, and tell her to like just fucking go write a song, you know, go sit down at the piano or something, do something. You don't need a drink, you know.
UK, I might be wrong, but the culture in the UK is nothing like that. I mean, I've seen Gwen Stefani in West End, and I've gone and said hello to her. Most celebrities in the UK, they don't get mold. People don't go. There's not this massive hysteria around them. And when it came to Amy Winehouse, like her family, they're not going to have a handler, because unlike America, they don't really like blow steam up people's asses in the UK.
it's really the smaller like C-list celebrities that do that bullshit just to feel self-important.
Well, the thing is like when she was caught, when they had that video that came out of her smoking crack, that would have been enough right there. If I was her, the people who owned her record label, at that point right there, I would have said, "Look, we're either gonna help this girl out because we don't want her to end up being a Kurt Cobain, or we're gonna kick her off the label and tell her, look, either you clean yourself up for real, not no bullshit, clean yourself up for real, or we're not gonna put you on TV anymore. We're not gonna give you any fucking live concerts. You're gonna be a nobody, or you fucking do something with yourself," or they just fucking kick her off completely. But somebody could have saved her. They needed to step in, and they needed to. There's so many stars that have died just because these people are living off of them. They're actually taking money from them and trying to live off of their laurels, because these are people that are talented. They actually can make something of themselves. So these people are losers, and all they really have is a label, and they have some money. So they have money, and they say, look, we'll pay to make your album, and then we'll send you out, and you can do all the work and live your life on the road and not really have much of a life and live in hotels and make all this money and make all these albums and have all these people that like you, and then we're going to we're going to siphon off of you. We're going to take all of your money, you know? and barely give you any money. And then when you start fucking your life up and shooting up drugs and doing cocaine and all this stuff, we're just going to sit by and watch it happen. And when you kill yourself, we're going to make money off of that because we can still sell your albums and still make money off of your money, you know? And that's why they don't give a fuck about anybody, and it's sad. She could still be here. If somebody really cared about her, she could still be here. Even her own family, if her father or her mother actually cared about her, which it obviously shows that they don't because they allowed that to happen. I don't care how old they are. If my son, I have 2 sons, actually 3 with the one in America, but I have 2 sons here in Japan. If my sons did something like that, I would be over at their house and fucking smack them, and I would actually bring them to my house, and I would make them stay in the house. Every time they wanted to go do anything, I would go out with them. If they had a concert, I would follow along with them. And if they even tried to do anything like that, I would smack them in the face. People that are that high in society, that have that much talent, to have somebody tell them, you should be happy that you're here. Don't fucking act like you know you deserve to be here. People, it's just like those people we were talking about earlier when they get to the point where they're making a lot of money from working out, and they can knock somebody out in 15 seconds and they stop working out. You know, it's the same thing. Once you get to that point where everybody knows who you are and you're a big star, you start doing whatever the fuck you want because you're up there and now everybody knows you. You know.
Well, this is look. What you're saying, I share the same sentiments. But you're dealing in England. You're dealing in London. Going back to this whole thing about women being more stronger than men. Apart from Amy Winehouse doing what she was doing, this story now then in Germany, yet again, I don't know if it's true or whatever, that the sort of migrant guys, you know, molesting these women, and you're having like 10-year-olds basically molesting grown women, and the women can't even do anything. Yet again, shows you the utter regardless of most people. And that's the same thing that happened with Amy Winehouse. No, there was a time I saw Amy Winehouse on television. She was performing, but she was high off her nut. She was high off her nut, and nobody pulled her off the fucking stage. They all stood.
They want to watch. They want to watch the ship go down. That's actually the best part. Like most of the videos, if you look on the internet and you see videos of like Amy Winehouse singing a song, she has a lot of really famous songs, and you'll look at those videos and they have like 1 million hits. But then you'll get on the videos that say Amy Winehouse completely trashed and drunk off her ass, and that video has like 600 million views. So the one they know that they make more money off of letting these people go down like a plane on fire, you know.
And plus, they
they'll
think
make
they're
more money
replaceable.
off that.
They think they're replaceable as well. They can just go find another schmo to fucking take advantage of.
Yeah, they don't realize that people that are like that, people that are singers like that, like Mariah Carey or somebody like that, people that are singers like that are there's not very many of those people around. You don't find a lot of Whitney Houstons. You know, you don't find a lot of people like that. But when you let those people crash and burn, you're going to have a hard time finding more people like that. But they don't care. They just want somebody that maybe has a pretty face and is great, you know.
Hey, just for a minute, you came back to tell us the secret.
Oh yeah.
I've been dying here, man. Fuck.
Yeah, you said you were going to tell us the secret, and then you went off, and you never told us the secret.
Or can you not tell us the secret?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. It's not secret. Here's the thing: when people go that women are crazy and everything like that, that's playing into something that's actually not true, because female craziness is calculated. And here's the thing which really pisses me off: we could keep females not in line in theory if men were willing to do it, because women are more risk averse than men. This is an actual biological fact. Women are more risk averse than men. Like, for example, women are more violent than men, but they select their targets more carefully. So all it would take is they'll still be the same women. They'll be conforming due to negative reinforcement, but it would actually work. Women were punished for being feral and acting up. Right? Like this 13-year-old, I just done a video with evidence. I posted a link from a German article. This 13-year-old girl has admitted to lying about being.
Oh God, they took him again. You know?
Man.
No, you've not had enough flogging for one day. Cha.
Yeah, every time they get ready to make a point, you know, they're like, "Oh yeah, there was this thing." Click. Like, God damn it.
Oh, he's back on. He's back
Yeah,
on.
well, yeah, going on about this 13-year-old girl that was let's get into it. Not because she's 13. Ugh,
Yeah.
fuck by that.
I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, I guess, whatever.
Well, no, I don't need. I already get enough accusations of being like Sarah Nyberg. I don't need to be any more.
Yeah. Yeah, you do you, boo.
Just throw him out. Speak to us.
Tell it. Yeah.
God Almighty.
Yeah, they're
I
really.
think he's around too much.
Yeah, there's something fucking up tonight. I don't know what's going on.
I think he's moving around too much. Himself and Magnus. I think they're on the move.
Yeah.
They're on the go.
Yeah. Well, Magnus has actually stopped. He said he was just cleaning out his truck, but he has. He has like a little headset that he talks off of that's wireless. So probably if he's bouncing around in and out of his truck and cleaning his truck and stuff like that, it's probably popping him in and out. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking they were both on phones because I noticed
Yeah.
I noticed that. So
Exactly.
that may account for it.
Yeah. Well, I keep seeing Magnus, and when he goes live, like sometimes he'll turn his camera on and he'll be live. It's always really grainy.
Hmm?
So I think he's probably on an iPhone or something if he does that.
God, iPhones.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks really grainy, way grainier than my computer. So I don't think he's actually on a laptop. I think he's on an iPhone or iPad or something like that.
How's Element X? How is he? Is he well?
I haven't heard from him since we did the last hangout. I've invited him to a few, but it's been he hasn't been on one of these in like 3 weeks, I think.
Oh dang.
Yeah. That last one that he was on was the last I've heard from him. I've sent him hangout invitations, but he hasn't came on, so I don't know what's going on.
How have you been getting on with your private stuff, the interviews? Have you started yet, or you haven't got around to it?
No, I've been trying to get some stuff going here. I'm actually starting a company here where I'm exporting cars again.
Uh-huh.
So I'm trying to get all that going. I just purchased on GoDaddy.com. I purchased the DCXConversionsInternational.com, and I'm setting up my website now. And on the 1st, I'm with a guy here that's a money guy. So he's actually got another guy that is working with our company that's doing I forget, like not Pakistan, someplace over in that area or something like that. He's doing that, Sri Lanka or something, and he's exporting cars there. So I'm going to be exporting cars to the U.S., Canada, England, Australia, and New Zealand, like I used to do. So I'm going to be sending a lot of like Skylines and race cars, and
because I have a company over here, and well, my parents do. They have a freight forwarding company over here in England that ship to other places. So you might be interested. They can probably find out some information from you and get that sorted over here if you're interested.
Yeah, I am. What I'm actually wanting to do as well is I'm going to start sending stuff. I've got to make money first, but I'm going to start sending stuff to other countries, and then once I start making a little bit of money, what sells good over here is actually like Harley Davidsons, BSAs, Ducatis, stuff like that, and then old classic like British cars, like old Lancias and stuff like that.
Oh.
So I want to buy stuff like that from other places and bring them over here to sell in auction, and then sell stuff over to the other countries that they want, which is like Skylines and GTRs and Supras and shit like that.
Because I'm seeing a trend over in London now where a lot of these new companies over in Shoreditch area, Trendyville, they're actually buying into the sort of Renaissance stuff. How would you call it? The vintage. Everything's sort of like vintage, one-off, two-offs. It's quite good. So a lot of new businesses are actually getting into that.
That's the kind of business that I'm in. That's what I do. And I would, for me, like, I don't understand. I just don't have the mindset. I don't have these ideas of like a cool car is some car that's like a 2016. All those cars is just like plastic pieces of shit. They don't have any style. They look like a bar of soap. They're all about like function. It's function, and there's no beauty. When you look at back in the day, back in like the 1940s and 50s and stuff, cars were aesthetically pleasing. They were made like artistically. You had an artist. They had these designers design cars. Now they have so many governmental things that they got to do. Like the headlights have to be a certain height, and the motor has to be a certain thing, and you have to have a certain length in the hood because in case you get in an accident. And there's all these bullshit things that they put up to where you can't actually make a beautiful car anymore. You used to be able to sit down at a drawing board and you could come up with a really beautiful, elegant design and then produce that car and have a really beautiful car. Now you can't, so all the cars look the same. When you pull up into a fucking shopping center, there's like 90 cars there that look the exact same, and you've got to hit your key button, and you got to listen to the deep sound and find out where your car's at, because they all look the same, and you don't know which one's yours.
I thought that was just me. All right, fuck, man.
Yeah, I can't stand cars like that. I wanted like a 1940s, 50s, or 60s car, or as far back as like 34. I love 34 Ford Coupes and stuff. That's why so many people want stuff like that, because they're stylish.
1960s Jaguar. I mean, XK150. I mean, this is just for me to the T. I mean, God Almighty, gorgeous.
Yep.
Gorgeous.
That's a rolling cock. That's what they said. It looked like a phallus.
Because I mean,
yeah,
cars are gorgeous. This is why I was just watching this old movie yesterday called Diabolic. I mean, it was a shit.
Danger
film,
Diabolic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danger Diabolic.
Oh God, I've seen that. Both it's the last episode of Mystery Science Theater, but I saw it before I knew it was an episode of Mystery Science Theater. So it's kind of.
Did you guys ever watch that movie Porky's?
Oh
yeah, Porky's 1 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah, Porky's. You remember? You remember the Jewish kid? You remember the Jewish?
Yeah.
He had that beautiful like 1957 red Jaguar convertible.
Yeah.
I've always wanted one of those. I love that car. That is such a beautiful car. It was like a 1956 red Jaguar convertible, soft top convertible.
Look, when I sort myself out, I'll be getting one of those cars from you, dude. Because God Almighty, that's that. I mean, when I go around London in my boater, I have 3 boaters, and my handlebar moustache, and I'm moving around, and people just looking at me. I'm thinking, of course, because you've got to look, with my blazers, my tweeds, just my dicky belt. God.
Well, that's something I really love to do. Is I'd like to set up a company here in Japan. Something I've been doing since I was a kid is I'm a fabricator, and then I went to Wyotech. So I'm a master fabricator. I can build stuff out of fiberglass, carbon fiber, whatever. But I can also do stuff out of stainless steel and aluminum and steel. So what I want to do is I want to actually start a company here in Japan that actually builds cars for people, bespoke for people, and just basically manufactures a brand new car that looks like some car that they want.
Well, brilliant, because as I was saying to you,
I'd like to build like brand new from scratch using new parts so that it will be safe, have good brakes, all that kind of thing. But like build a 1934 Ford from scratch out of metal, not out of crap.
Because I like what you're saying there, because this is what I believe. This whole, call it MGTOW, don't call it MGTOW. This is the point. This is what needs to be happening. Whereas I'm now, as I said, I'm developing certain things. I have a couple of guys linked to the livery companies of England. So if you can do that, and what I'm doing is, as I've told you before, I'm studying the R language for analytics, statisticians, and all of this sort of stuff. I've come out with this sort of this module that I believe could be very, very profitable. Now, if you're getting on with something like that over there in Japan, and I'm over here and other places that have a few people that are doing what they're supposed to do, this could be very profitable. We're talking about a ostentatious renaissance of men that come together, that actually put their skill set and get things done. Oof. I mean, this is turning me on. I don't know about you guys. But this
Yeah.
is turning me. I like this.
That's-
I like
that's
this.
That's what needs to happen, I think, is like a lot of us need to actually see that we can actually do something to make some progress in this movement, because we need to stop actually trying. Like, there's people that say we want to get together and, like, you know, have like a group meeting and, you know, hold each other's dicks and measure them. I want to actually start part of this movement to be guys helping other guys out. Like, it's hard for us to find jobs and stuff like that. So I can actually help a guy start a company of importing cars, you know, or doing something like that, where they can actually, like, say, if I say, okay, I've got a bunch of cars over here in Japan that are British-made cars, and I need parts for them. I need motors, I need wheels, I need stuff like that, and I can get somebody a job over in their country looking in junkyards and finding parts, bespoke parts for these cars, and then packing them up and shipping them to Japan so that I can use them or sell them.
Because I'm telling you what, so a lot of people don't know about this, but my mentors show me the blueprint, and this is why, like, you know, I don't work or anything. I just focus on these things. But it's not actually hard to get financing from these things. And because you're over there in Japan, I'm in England, America, or else, it will be very simple to get a lot of money for these. Because what happens is a lot of people don't know that all you've got to do with this idea that you have, when it becomes fruition, you have it there. All you do is go around with the passion, selling it to these banks and showing that the guys at the banks will get a return from it. And then what you do is you put these people on your board of directors and you give them shares in your company depending on how they participate in it. The reason why that's good, because it gives people a lot of incentives. If you're talking to a CEO of a company that's a manufacturing company over there in UK or whatever it is, he's getting older, he's getting more and more tiresome. His children are not doing diddly squat. You're coming over here with a great idea. People like me are all around the world. Then what happens is, what you say to them is, look, if you want to be a part of this, I'm going to leverage of your notoriety. So if this guy's earning, I don't know, 250 million, all of his friends, they're out there soireeing, you can actually leverage their sort of expertise, and you can get money from the banks, because even if you don't have, or even if I don't have access to 300 million, these guys do, and these guys have the boys that are in there together. So all you do is just bring them aboard, you give them 3 or 4% of your company or whatever, and just use their name to tout to get the best deals. And that's all it is. It's quite masterful. It's quite masterful.
I've put all my company information in the chat.
Oh, bro.
Hey. Just want
Yes.
to say something. I just want to say something before I get booted again, because it keeps on booting me. So, something. All right. Okay. I'm not going to bother with a long conversation, because I'll just get kicked out halfway through. It's like, and I'll just lose my train of thought. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
I think Google hate you.
Yeah.
It's already done.
Yeah, they're not booting me out, so they're just booting you guys out. So apparently they hate you. Apparently they hate you and Magnus is what I'm seeing. They hate you and Magnus.
Well, they're taking over your Google Hangouts and kicking people on the slide to cause infighting.
Yeah.
It's part of their operation.
Yeah. Yeah, the feminist SJWs have caught on to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think men need to network more, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, because at the end of the day, if we don't have each other's backs, no one will. It's as simple as that. Together we